Hello, everybody. I'm here now, and it's the morning of 4th of July. And so say something. Is the sound in the video okay? Hello, hello? Okay. Let's see. Hey, GMT Master. Happy 4th to you, too. Hi, Dominic. Happy 4th. Oh, good. Everything's working good. Great. Hi, Indrajit. How you doing? What time is it, Indrajit, where you are? Hey, Blaine. How are things in Japan? Ah, well, let me start off today with something that some of you may know about. Okay, it's 7. So it's about. Let me see. So that would be about 5:30. Okay, that's good. The reason I say that is that the reason we're having these for us it's the morning. It's 8 o'clock a.m. in the morning here in Connecticut, is because the so that you guys in Asia could pick us up. So that's good. Um, hey, DG. I'm in Canada. We celebrate Canada Day on July 1st. That's right. Yeah, I remember that. We had a little celebration. We waved a maple leaf. We got a maple tree outside. Hey, Abdul, how are you? GMT Master. Okay, let's see. Well, let me tell you what I want to talk about today is that I've been talking a lot about different kinds of watches for collections in terms of what everybody can afford. And one of the things that is sort of I see as the pinnacle of collections would be, for example, if I had a watch that was by Abraham Breguet, or one by Roger Smith or Philippe Dufour, or a lot of these other guys who are like really at the top of their game. Hi, Tim. Hi, from Edgartown, huh? Do you live in Edgartown, Tim, or are you just vacationing there? We used to go there for vacation. Uh, oh boy. Well, anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, I was talking about how can we get our mitts on a watch by a real watchmaker. Okay. And you take somebody like Roger Smith, he makes a few a year and not bid. I found a guy who is actually probably in a way has done more in watchmaking than most of us realize. He makes one or possibly two, I think they're 2 second or 2 minute tourbillons a year. And this is Daniel Roth. And that's cool. And his watches, I think, are $100,000 a pop. So, but some of his other ones, I think, well, maybe there's something there. Okay, yeah, GMT Master. I didn't want to ignore that. People were talking about 4th of July. It's nothing this year compared to pub opening day in Great Britain. It was in the UK. That is a much bigger celebration. My God, the pubs during the Blitz in World War II, the pubs didn't close. So it's really a huge day, and I want to congratulate everybody over there for getting their brew. I still think, in fact, I really know how important it is to be safe, and I hope you all are. Okay, Indrajit, what's on my wrist right now? And since we were talking about this is hard to see. Let me see. This is a Lang and Heyne, Frederick II, and it's by Marco Lang. This is another guy. He called his outfit originally Lang and Heyne because for the first year of operation, there was he and a guy. I think they went to watchmaking school together or something. They worked together in Dresden, and so after the first year, Heyne left, and so here you have all of these, I don't know, 8 or 9 movements that Marco Lang developed, and at the I think right at the beginning of 2019, Marco Lang left the Lang and Heyne, and so here you have Lang and Heyne have no Lang and no Heyne. That had to do with some kind of I don't know what led to that. I really don't. Marco Lang is a class act, and so he hasn't been running around screaming foul or anything. It was one of those things that happened in business. I'm very sure it was a business thing and not a. That could have been a creativity. I don't know. But so anyway, so I got this. This one was shortly before Marco Lang left. And in October, I think, there's going to be a new Marco Lang, and I'm very excited about that. What I would really, really like to see, if companies like Lang made just one watch, just one, that we could afford, my God, I think, I don't know what the Lang and Heynes like this go for now, but I don't think they have anything under $20,000. It's like, yay. So anyway, hey Sean, how you doing? And Lee, hi Lee. The hairdressers are open. Boy, they're not here. My barber shop, my God, it's gonna look like a sheep shearing when I go to the barber shop. Oh my God. It was really funny. My wife wanted to grow her hair out. Couldn't have picked a better time. Are those special lugs on the Lang and Heyne? Yes, they are. Let me see if I can take it off and show it to you. He's got, they ask him, how come you put 3 lugs on here and put on those screw down lugs? In other words, instead of having a spring bars, you have a lug bar that you have these, you screw it in on both ends. But this, excuse me, as you can see, this one has 3 lugs on it. And then on the end, I don't know if you can see it very well, but on the end, there's a little bitty screw there right up where the lug goes into the strap. Here is another example of a 3 lug. This is on my Robert Debris, and this is the screw right here that goes into that. 3 lugs. I wish they wouldn't do that anymore. I really do. I don't want to go into my song and dance about how difficult it was. Having 3 lugs isn't bad insofar if you had some kind of a 3 lug spring bar, but man, getting this thing on and off is not easy at all. So anyway, but here's the part that I like. Let me see if I can show you. You see the back right there? See right. Let's see, maybe it's better to do it this way. Right there is a diamond on top of the balance shaft, which I think is sort of cool. Lang had it down as a German tradition, and I found a few other ones. Apparently I think they were in pocket watches. Now, here is some other big news. This watch just came back from a national tour, okay? And it's handmade, and it's you can the quality of it. I don't know how well my camera is going to pick it up, but this just came back from something that I think is sort of a cool thing for collectors, and I think it's also good for the watchmakers too. Uh, well, let me say some other people. Hi, Tom. How are you? Easiest strap to change is FP's yarn. Yeah, I agree. Okay, well, anyway, I just put these straps on. I had I had a quick release strap. I bought some gray straps for this one. Anyway, let me tell you the story about this. A little over a year ago, my wife and I were in Germany and Nuremberg, and so we contacted Rolf Lang up in Dresden, and so we took the train up to Dresden and met with Rolf Lang. Had a ball, super nice guy, and he was there with a couple of the guys. Rolf doesn't speak English. I don't speak German, but a couple of his friends who were there did, and so he got to talking. And hi, Andy Candy. And so what happened was that I said, if you want, what I could do, there are a bunch of us who are watch collectors, and why don't I do this? Why don't I, if you have one that you trust us with, we would pass it around of each person having it for a month, and then talk about it on social media, and people would get to know Rolf Lang. Okay, well, the gray on silver is a little hard to read. But it's it's looking at the back. If you get more to the front, you've got this hand in everything is hand done on this. The balance cock is hand engraved, and there was when I was visiting him, he showed me this piece of metal that looked like a piece of shrapnel. It's all cut around and so forth. And he said, "Oh yeah, I used to. That's how I cut out the plate for this. I just cut around it, and there it is. Puts it in." Amazing guy. So anyway, just yesterday I got it back. Now, originally I was going to send it around to 12 people. I'd talked to 12 guys who I knew from just sort of hanging around online, and I said, "Hey, you want to look at this for a month and pass it on to the next guy?" And it wasn't hard to find 12 people, and then another guy said, he'd really like to see it. And so I said, okay, well, we'll make it a baker's dozen. And so we had 13 of us. I did it. A couple guys couldn't do it. One guy was traveling a lot, and another guy, I think, was a little concerned about any kind of interaction during the quarantine or the pandemic and so forth. But wasn't hard finding two more guys. So everybody got filled in, and it worked out great. And I just got it back. Like I said, I just got it back yesterday from its. So it was out there on a tour for 13 months. And so now I'll contact Rolf and see what to do next. But I think that's any kind of a watch like that. This would be handy. I think it'd be a great way to advertise. By the way, too, back in, when was it? I lost all track of time. It was back in April or March. Anyway, it was right before New York City shut down. I was there interviewing Edward Milan from H. Moser, and Eddie was there. Eddie is he's a high school student who's graduating, is going to go to college this coming year. And so another guy who couldn't take the watch needed a substitute, and so we did it. Well, we happened to be at Cellini's, which is, if you go to New York City, you want to see all of the independents, that is the place to go. And so we were talking about it and passing it back and forth. And the guy who's the head of Cellini said, "Hey, this is a cool watch. It's something that he'd be interested in carrying. So that was one of the things that came out of this, is that I'm hoping that everything works out. Things in such a mess right now. It's almost impossible to get things squared away. And so anyhow, that was what we did. So this is the Rolf Lang Dresden Canaletto gray, I think is what it was. It's almost impossible to show in this screen, but it's a really cool watch. I had a gray one of the straps I had. We ended up with about 3 or 4 straps. A lot of the guys said, I think it looked better with this strap. So they went out and bought a strap for it. When it came back yesterday, there were like 3 or 4 extra straps with it. Okay, so all right, let's see. Today is Open Pub Day, which is a big celebration. It's 4th of July here, which is a muted celebration because of everything going on, basically because of the pandemic. Other than that, everything is dandy. Okay, we'll probably have a surge afterwards. People are getting antsy. Who can blame them? But that's the way it goes. So what's new with you guys? Yeah, Blaine, Lynn Lease. No, it's just Lynn. Sort of Blaine. Yeah. Sort of the Marshall Plan. Let's see. Good, Tom. Oh, it's your first weekend away from home for 4 months. Yeah, I think that's 4 months ago. That's the last time I had a haircut. I think, boy, half a year old. It's going on almost now. Okay, let's see. What's Andy Candy talking about? CQ is a fantastic watch. Okay, I agree. I don't know what CQ is, but that rings a bell. I can't quite place it though. How can we be on the Rolf list? Well, first of all, Abdul, you can move to the U.S. That would help, because what we did is that I wasn't about to send it out of the country, because if I did, it'd have to go through customs and all of that stuff. Even Canada or Mexico, I'd be very nervous about either one, because it would have to go through customs. So we just kept it in the U.S. It's a Glashütte original dive watch. Okay. Okay, thanks, Andy. Henschel Hamburg is a good German brand. Yeah, I've seen his stuff. And yeah, that's another really interesting German brand. Was looking at the Maurice Lacroix Masterpiece Manual line, double retrograde with power reserve. Very nice. Yeah, that is a nice watch. I like. Oh, by the way, too, let me make a correction. I had a video the other day, little vest pocket video. Let me see if you can see this. And I featured my wholly magnetized Maurice Lacroix masterpiece. The reason I did it, it had been magnetized. I tried to demagnetize it. The demagnetizer didn't work. So anyway, I was basically showing what you're supposed to do, but said it probably wouldn't work. Well, it finally did work. And so my masterpiece is now totally demagnetized and keeping great time. And it's a watch I absolutely love because it has the Jacquet 736 in it. With Maurice Lacroix, even if they have a iffy movement, they make really excellent watches. When I got my Maurice Lacroix, I was surprised by the quality and the heft and everything that you find in a good watch. And so I was really happy with my Maurice Lacroix, and I still am. And it's kept perfect time until it got magnetized, and that little cheap demagnetizer I had actually worked. And the funny thing was that it hadn't been working right. It hadn't been working right. So I gotta show how you're supposed to do it, and grumble about it. Well, that was when it worked during the demonstration. You know, I, I, I can't even get it wrong when I'm trying to get it right. Okay. Maurice Lacroix Masterpiece Manual Wine. Yeah, I like the manual wines too. This one has, it's called the Maurice Lacroix Masterpiece Rectangular Small Seconds or something like that. And it's got the Jacques 736. And that's part of my, yesterday, I think, my wife had, I got a Dunhill with a Jacques 736. And I found a beautiful band for it. And so my wife took it away from me. It's her watch now. It's even though the Dunhill is a men's watch, it didn't have to be. Hey, Clyde, how you doing? I hope you guys are safe there. Everything working okay. Stay away from everyone. That's my advice, Clyde. Hi, Verdell. How are you? Hey, by the way, too, Clyde, I guess who came home? Clyde was one of the guys who was part of this group that we passed it around to. And anyway, we each got some time with it, which is sort of fun. And now I guess I'll have to go back. I had an Omega Seamaster that was magnetized once, and I had to send it to Omega. $750. Yeah, see, this is I have a FP Journe chronomet, Souverain. About 3 or 4 years ago, I was at the Watch Time show in New York, and all of us put our watches together. You know, had one of those circle photographs, and so I was looking at the picture, and mine was wrong. Everybody else had one time, and mine had a different time. So I just had it serviced about a year or so before. And so I went down to the, I was in New York, so I went down to the FP Journe boutique in New York, and I said, hey, you know, I had this thing serviced not too long ago, and now, you know, it's running slow. And so he said, it sounds like it's magnetized. I said, well, I thought watches ran fast when they're magnetized. He said, some do, some run slow. And all of mine so far have been running slow when they're magnetized. Okay, so he said, leave it here and come back later this afternoon, and I'll see if I can fix it for you. I did that, and for the last 2 years, it's been perfect. And then it got magnetized again somehow. I don't know how, but it did. And so now I'm gonna have to wait until they open up and run down there. And they just, you know, drop it off and put it back. It's 8:23. Okay, that was the FP Journe. Anyway, thank you, Clyde, for that. Thank you very much. I'll get my Hamilton Ventura. Thank you very much. Is your magnetic? Oh yeah, that's what it is. I screw up my watches with my magnetic personality. I tell you, if that was the case, they'd be keeping perfect time. Oh, let's see. Just picked up a Tudor North Flag. I love those North Flags. I don't know why, but I do. I just think they're cool watches. There's something about them I like. I like the color and everything else about them. Hey, Geezer, how you doing? Congratulations, Geezer, on the pub opening day. So that's a big holiday for you guys. I know that. Let's see. Verdell. That is why I purchased the new Omega Seamaster with a coaxial movement and 15K Gauss. No worries. Yeah, that ought to keep it from demagnetizing. Yeah, that'll. You know, the Rolex Milgauss was advertised for that, but you know, the Air King has the same movement as a Milgauss, including the degaussing thing or the demagnetizing thing. What do you think of the new Tudor Black Bay in navy blue? You know, in general, I like the Tudor Black Bays, all of them. The one I really liked was I think it was one of the first ones where they put their own movement in it, and it has a sort of a blood red bezel on it. Beautiful watch. But I got my diver, so I'm all set. This watch has proven to be so incredibly good. My Roger Dubuis watch, so I'm happy. I'm a happy camper right now. Okay, yeah, Tudors are nice. And I don't know, that North flag, something cool about them. Just something I like. There's also the what's it called, the Pelagos, the blue one. I like that one too. Oh, by the way, too, one thing I wasn't sure that was going to happen is the Grand Prix d'Horlogerie for 2020, and indeed it's on. So beginning, probably around the 1st of next month, if not sooner. I'll have to check and see what it is. But they're going to have the pre-selected out there, and then they're going to start. We can start our contest, our Grand Prix pick. We got 3 watches will be given away. One for the most person who picks the most pre-selected. Last year I did terrible. The year before that I got them all, but I can't win anything. So it's something you never know, and a couple guys are really good at it, and so if you're interested, when they have the entries all selected, I mean not selected, all I got to do is I think pay €500 or something, and they're selected. I mean they're part of the entries, so that'll be interesting to see that that's coming up, and I think that it's late this year. Usually by this time, here it is July. Yeah, I think usually in June is when they get them, but they're a little late this year for obvious reasons. I really think that they weren't sure whether they're going to have it or not, but they may have a different version of it this year with a lot of social distancing and a reduced number of people who can come. Maybe the only people they're going to allow to come are the people who have entries, and not bring everybody in. I don't know how they're going to do it, but it's the same thing. And I always like the Grand Prix because sometimes what they'll do is that they'll introduce a watch and they'll pick one that is just like super good, and I never heard of it before. One watch is that the Tudor Black Bay has done exceedingly well in the different versions of that. The Tudor Black Bay won last year for it's called the Challenge category. Okay. Yeah, Abdul, I'm not sure. I think they're going to be in early August. Okay, usually they're out now, but because of the delay they had in getting started and everything, I think you give them another month. I'll try to find out for sure and pass that on to you. A new Journe residence for the Aiguille d'Or. Man, I'd be for that geezer. I couldn't agree more. But what happened? FP Journe got mad at him for something and quit entering them. He quit entering his watches in the Grand Prix. They asked him to be a judge a couple of years ago, and he was all set to be a judge. And then he sold 20% of FP Journe to Chanel, and Chanel had entries, and so he couldn't be a judge anymore. So I don't know what he's going to do. He's won more Aiguille d'Ors than any other watch company, and so that's not bad. But I agree that his new residence would be it. Now, a number of years ago, one of his earlier residence watches, I think it was the second version, but I'm not positive, also won some award, either complicated watches or one of those categories that they had. Hi, Idris. What's your take on the Royal Oak annual calendar? I tell you, the Royal Oak that I like is the plain vanilla one, steel one. Love that watch. The other ones, they have so many different versions of it. you don't know whether you're looking at the style or the movement, but by and large, Audemars Piguet just does wonderful stuff. So my opinion would probably be pretty good. My favorite annual calendar, though, is still the, what's it called? Well, actually, it's not an annual calendar. Perpetual calendar is the one by H. Moser. And they won a complicated watch award at the Grand Prix. It's the only award I think that H. Moser has won on that. Okay. Royal Oak annual calendar. Well, listen, guys, I'm over a little right now, but we'll have her if you're in a place where you can be around by 4 o'clock this afternoon. I hope to see you then, but I got to run now. I only get a half an hour at a clip before I turn into a pumpkin. So take care, everybody. Be safe, and hope to see you soon.